Wow. Thank you, Mr. Whitmore, for your kind words. I am truly humbled and honored to be here today. I would like to thank the Maine State Hall of Fame Selection Committee for choosing me, and a thank you to those who have organized this very special induction ceremony. Congratulations to my fellow Hall of Fame class members. What a thrill it is for me to meet each of you and hear about your distinguished achievements. I have always considered myself a very lucky person. I am lucky because I have been surrounded my entire life by people who have loved me, coached me, and pushed me to be the best athlete and person I could be. These people have shaped my life, giving me the most precious and wonderful gift, their time. I am here on this stage because so many people selflessly invested in me. Being an athlete in team sports means that you certainly do not win games by yourself, and as in life, nobody goes through it alone. I was blessed with an amazing family, talented coaches, devoted teammates, and true friends. I come from a family of athletes. In fact, I am not the first family member to be inducted into the Maine Sports Hall of Fame. Thomas Golden, my great-uncle, was inducted for his outstanding football career at Coney High School and the University of Maine. Thank you for being here today, Uncle Thomas. Also, my cousin Julie Veyu, the present Colby College women's basketball coach, is a member of the New England Basketball Hall of Fame. Thank you, Julie, for being here as well. I absolutely loved playing sports growing up. Sports brought me incredible joy and taught me valuable life lessons. Whether I was on the court or on the field, I gave it everything I had. It didn't matter if I was playing in a game, practice session, in my yard, phys ed classes, or recess at school. I wanted to win, and I took it seriously. Growing up, I played sports, mainly against boys. I had one neighborhood friend who meant the world to me. We would play one-on-one basketball, football, and soccer in our yards for hours, and we would battle. Our games were intense, and I credit him for making me physically tough. Nathan Kelleher is my neighborhood friend, and he is here today. Nate, thank you so much for coming to my induction and for our time together as kids. I will never forget it. As I mentioned earlier, nobody can win a field hockey, basketball, or softball game alone. I was fortunate to be surrounded by the finest teammates. One teammate I would like to recognize is Rebecca Demas Singleton. Becky and I have been playing together since Little League softball. We played on the same teams in high school, field hockey, basketball, softball, and 1 year of soccer. Becky always made me look good. Her speed, intensity, and work ethic were unmatched. In field hockey, she crossed the ball in front of the goal perfectly. Many times, I only needed to redirect it past the goalie. In basketball, she would rebound the ball, outlet it to me, beat me down the floor for the easy layup. In softball, she was an outstanding first baseman and saved me from tons of errors with her great glove and long stretch. Years after our first season of Little League together, she told me a story about how she cried because she was placed on our Little League softball team. All of her friends were on the other teams, and she wanted to be with them. Well, I know you were upset at the time, Becky. However, I am so grateful you were put on our team, not only because you were an outstanding player, but because you became my best friend. Becky, thank you so much for not only being such a great teammate, but for being such a wonderful friend to me throughout the years. I will never forget all the wonderful memories we shared. Another teammate taught me about hard work and dedication. She was quite the inspiration. Christine Chandler Cummings played basketball and soccer with me. She was an outstanding soccer player, but she didn't start playing basketball until high school. Christine started off as our basketball team manager. After a season as our manager, she decided she did not want to manage our team anymore. She wanted to play. She totally dedicated herself to basketball over one summer and transformed herself into one heck of a player. She went from manager to starter in our senior year. I was awed by her work ethic, desire, and dedication to our team. I will never forget the big shot she made in the state championship game against Portland, our senior year. Thank you, Christine, for being here today. for your incredible work ethic and dedication, and for being a true friend. I will forever remember your inspirational story and continue to share it with others. One other teammate of mine taught me how to stay cool under pressure and to play disciplined, focused, and smart. That person was Lisa Meringue Layton. We played high school basketball together at Coney. Not only was Lisa a fantastic student in the classroom, she was also a force on the court. She played the game hard and seemed to always own the boards. Not only was she an excellent rebounder, but she also had the best shot on her team. Lisa was the recipient of many of my passes. She was able to corral my passes with incredible ease and coolly put them in, most times under extreme pressure from a defender. Lisa was always in the right position, and our team could count on her to do whatever it was Coach Vachon asked her to do. Lisa is very disciplined, and her discipline won our team many games. Thank you, Lisa, for being here today. You were a great teammate and an amazing friend. I will never forget how you played the game with such intense focus. My sister Megan was the person who pushed me the most to be the best I could be. She taught me all about competitiveness through her example. Megan has always been fiercely competitive. As kids, it didn't matter what we were playing or doing, she turned it into a competition to see who could do it better. Most of the time, she was better. Sometimes these competitions turned into fights. Other times we would end up laughing so hard we cried. Her competitive spirit made me a better player. There is no one I would want to be on the fields or court with more than her, because I knew she would give it all she had, and in return, I would try to match her energy and enthusiasm. She had an incredible will to do whatever it took to help the team win. In most situations, she would be assigned to cover the other team's best offensive player. Megan has always been up to the challenge and was the best defensive player I have ever played against or with. In practices, I could never relax for a second, because if I did, she would steal the ball from me and take it in for a layup. Megan was intense, and her play elevated mine. Thank you, Megan. I am proud to call you my sister and friend. I love you so very much. I would like to thank all my teammates at Coney High School and the University of New Hampshire. I'm proud to have called you my friends and teammates. I would not be here today if it were not for all of you. For every one of you who have ever stepped on the field or court with me, I accept this honor today on behalf of all of you. Thanks for getting me the ball, catching my passes, and putting them in, defending our goal and hoop together, and for sharing in my highs and lows. I would like to thank all the coaches who gave their time to teach me the fundamentals of the game. From Little League and St. Mary's to college sports, I was coached by the very best. The coach that had the greatest impact on my game and my life was Coach Paul Vachon. Coach Vachon has the ability to motivate every player he ever coached to greater heights. He convinced us to believe in ourselves, each other, and our game plan. Coach Vachon instilled the fundamentals and strategy, but he also taught me how to be mentally tough. Coming in as a freshman, I can remember times when I would make mistakes in practice, get frustrated, and start crying. When this happened, I was sent to the side court to run sprints. I can still hear him saying, "You're not at St. Mary's anymore." St. Mary's was my junior high school. Needless to say, the crying stopped pretty quick. In years to come, that mental toughness allowed me to block out the players, coaches, and fans who tried to distract me during games. Coach Vachon is the greatest girls basketball coach the state of Maine has ever had. What made him truly great was not only the wins and championships, but the respect and care he had for all of his players. While many of you only saw Coach Vachon on the sidelines of games, barking out orders, he absolutely cared about each of his players. We all knew how much he cared for us and that he wanted us to succeed in basketball and in life. Coach Vachon, thank you for deciding to take the job at Coney High School back in 1985. Your leadership has positively impacted me, and it was an honor playing for you. I would not be here today if it was not for you. The most influential and best role models in my life are my parents. Thank you so much, Mom and Dad, for loving and supporting me 100%. My mother, Linda Lane, is very selfless, and extremely generous, giving of both time and gifts. Although she worked full-time, she drove me all over town for practices and games. She spent her free time on weekends and evenings at my sporting events, cheering me on. My mother prepared healthy meals to fuel me. She had my practice gear and uniforms ready to go. There were countless times when she would get up early in the morning or rush home on her lunch break to prepare dinner, so I just needed to heat it up before practices and games. She always knew the right things to say. Her encouragement and support always inspired me, and her words of comfort always strengthened me. My mother, by her excellent example, has taught me all about compassion, empathy, and how to treat other people. My dad, Roy Lane, was my mentor, champion, and hero. He passionately helped me become the very best player I could be and did everything he could to support me. My dad devoted all his spare time to coaching my Little League softball and YMCA basketball teams, practicing with me for countless hours and talking with me about the games I played. He never missed a high school game and even watched a lot of my basketball practices from the balcony in the old Coney gym. In college, he would arrive 2 to 3 hours before the game and would rebound for me in the gym. Nobody was better at getting my shot and confidence just right before the games. Although my dad was great at teaching me the fundamentals of the game, he also taught me many valuable life lessons. He taught me how to compete, to never give up, to play every game like it's your last. He taught me to appreciate the game, to respect it, and to play it like it was meant to be played. He taught me to enjoy my successes and learn from my failures. He taught me how to be a good teammate, a good sport, to be modest in victory, and to always recognize the contributions made by my teammates. I am so happy my parents are here today with me. Mom and Dad, thank you so much for your wonderful example you have set and your continued love and support. I hope I have made you proud today, as I am so proud to be your daughter. I will do my best to instill in my children the values and lessons I have learned from you. I love you so very much. Now to my husband, Jim, and my 2 sons, Jonathan and Connor. Jim and I first met 13 years ago. He challenged me to run a marathon. I took that challenge, completed my first marathon, and we have been running together ever since. If that wasn't enough, he introduced me to Ironman triathlons, and together we have competed all over the world. Jim has competed in 17 Ironman events to my 4, so I have a long way to go before I can claim that family record. Jim is a wonderful husband and man, and I'm so lucky to have him in my life. I am very excited to have my husband and boys, Jonathan and Connor, here today. They have never seen a video of me playing sports in high school or college. To them, I am the nagging wife and mom who makes the boys do their homework, brush their teeth, and clean their rooms. So it's been extremely rewarding for me to hear them telling everyone that the old nag is being inducted into the Maine Sports Hall of Fame. To watch their reaction and see how proud they are has been awesome. That beats any award I could ever receive, because their love means the world to me. Jim, Jonathan, Connor, I am forever blessed, and I love you all so very much. Lastly, I have to acknowledge the wonderful community support I have enjoyed throughout my years in Augusta. Yes, I'm one of those Mainers who has moved on to live in another part of the country, but believe me when I tell you, there's no place like home. It was wonderful growing up in a family-based town like Augusta, where the community shows up to cheer on teams at the Y, at St. Mary's, and at Coney. Though I wasn't in sports for the accolades, having standing room-only turnouts, even on the coldest, snowiest nights, enriched the experience and made it so exciting for me and my teammates. When I look back at it all, I am so very touched by those friends, neighbors, boosters who showed up day after day to root for a team of teenage girls who didn't realize then how our community, our team, and athletics would shape our future and our values. So I conclude my remarks with the words I began with. I have always considered myself a very lucky person, lucky with family, with community, and with good health. Now I get to add to that how lucky and grateful I am to be here with you today. So very, very humbled by this tremendous honor. Thank you.